Hey guys, it's your girl Vanessa here. Welcome back to another video. Now, do you want to find out how to get rid of grey hair instantly using a natural remedy? So doing that completely naturally, you've come to the right place, okay? Because I'm going to share with you this amazing recipe. Like, look at my hair, look at the front of my hair, how it went from grey to black, and literally all done naturally using just one recipe. So you don't want to miss this out, so make sure that you keep on watching the video and you watch until the end. So as promised in my last video guys, I did share with you guys that I was gonna use that spray that we made in the previous video as a base for another recipe, and this is it here. Okay, now that spray that I showed you, I detailed all of the benefits of each one of these ingredients, but I forgot to mention that it can also help you to darken your hair or to prevent premature graying. Okay, so if you haven't watched that video, please make sure you watch it. I will link it in the description box down below, where you can actually hear what each one of these ingredients are going to do for you and for your hair. Okay, so we are first of all going to make the spray that we're going to use in mixing our other ingredients. Now it's very important that you stick to this recipe exactly as I'm showing you guys, and that you make your concoction that you'll be using as the liquid in the hair dye. So this is exactly how I'm making it. So as you saw, I used some hibiscus leaves, I also used some black seeds, I also used some cloves, and I essentially just added it all to a pot, and I added some water. You can actually use black tea as well if you've got it. I didn't have black tea with me, so that's why I completely left it out. But I showed you guys another recipe about how to get rid of grey hair where I used black tea and coffee as well. So if you haven't got hibiscus, you can replace that for black tea or coffee. Make sure it's got caffeine in it. So you're going to boil the whole thing until it's properly infused, and we're going to go ahead and strain it, and that's what we're going to be using as the liquid base for the dye that we are making. Just like I said, you can use this spray or this liquid as a spray like I showed you guys in the video that I posted last week. Like I said, I will link it in the description box down below, where I talk about how you can use this to grow your hair strong, thick and healthy. Now we'll be using this in today's video as the base for the dye that we're making. So you're going to let that sit aside and allow it to cool down. Next, to make the dye now, we are going to use some henna. So this is organic henna powder that I got from Amazon. I will see if I can link it in the description box for you guys, but you can literally get henna on Amazon, on eBay, and other websites actually sell henna. It's very readily available. So I will be using this spray slash concoction that we made to as a base for mixing the henna. So you want to add gradually. So I just eyeballed it here and just added the amount that I thought would be enough for mixing the henna. So you want to add gradually if you're not sure, until you get the right consistency. So this is what I ended up with. Now once you've mixed it until it's gotten to this consistency, you want to let it sit around and rest for a minimum of 3 hours, or better still, you can let it infuse overnight, just because it allows the henna to release its color, or like the dye, which will eventually will help you to dye your hair. So this is what it looks like when I just made it, and then 3 hours later this is what it looks like. So it's definitely a little bit darker, but this color would have intensified even more if it sat overnight. Now don't miss this part. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, because I'm now going to go ahead and add in some indigo. Now the salt just helps to activate the indigo a little bit quicker, I believe. I've been doing henna on my hair this way for the longest time, and it's always worked for me. So if you have used henna and indigo before without using the salt, it's fine, you can leave it out completely, but I just think the salt, from the research that I've done, actually helps to activate the indigo a little bit better. So for about 1 tablespoon of henna, I use about 2.5 tablespoons, is that tablespoons? Yeah, I believe tablespoons of indigo. So you want to use more of the indigo because that's what will give you the black color. Okay, now I did a bit of water, again gradually mix until I was satisfied with the consistency. So this is what I ended up with. So you don't want it to be too runny, you don't want it to be too thick either. So this is what we ended up with, and we're literally ready to apply it to our hair. Okay, so you want to apply it to your hair straight away. Now, one of the most important thing when it comes to dyeing your hair naturally, especially using henna and indigo, is that you have to make sure that you wash your hair, guys. So in this case, I've got this mini twist that I put in my hair, I think it was about a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't ready to wash my hair. Okay, so I just went and I shampooed the front part of my hair because that's the part I was going to dye. Now I do have lots of grays, as you guys probably know. Like, if you've been working with me for a while, you would know that I'm grey okay, everywhere on my head at this point, but I'm just going to focus at the front again because I'm not too bothered about the rest of my hair. And again, if you've been working with me for a while, you know that I always, if I was to dye my hair, I will always dye the front. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So I went ahead and I shampooed the front part of my hair, and I'm just adding the dye to it basically. So make sure you wear gloves because henna does stain, so it's going to stain your fingers, it's going to stain your nails. So make sure you've got some gloves. I didn't have the latex one, like, you know, the one that you get rid of basically. I didn't have that, so this is all I had, and that's what I'm using. So you just want to go ahead and work this through your grey hair. Okay, so if that's your entire hair, do that. And then essentially you want to let it sit for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then rinse it off just warm water. And this is what it looks like the first time that I did it. So you can see that some of the grays were definitely covered for sure, but we didn't get a black color. Okay, it was a bit disappointing, but hey, don't worry, don't panic if this happens to you. It's perfectly normal. Sometimes it doesn't take the dye like intensely the first time, so you have to reapply. So I'm applying it for the second time, and this time around it is definitely going to take the dye a lot better, like I'm going to show you guys. So you want to work this thing on your hair again, and then you want to let it sit for another hour. But because it was getting late and I was getting tired, guys, so I think I left it till the next day, and then I washed it out of my hair, and then I got the black color. I'm going to show you guys in just a little bit. Now, because I've shared this with you guys before, and some of you guys say, oh, I went to try it, I didn't get a black color, my hair was just what's the word, like orange. If that happens to you, it could be that perhaps you haven't mixed the ingredients properly. So I will put the exact amount of every single one of these ingredients in the description box down below, so make sure you follow it properly. And also if you don't get the black color, it could be that you use less indigo, so perhaps add more indigo and also reapply until you get the desired color. So this is what I ended up with the second time, and I was really happy with it. So you can see it's definitely black. I'm showing you guys the gray in the rest of my hair. You can see I've got so much of it, but it's not really so much of a problem. Okay, it's fine. I just wanted the front of my hair to be dyed, and I achieved that. So I hope that you guys go ahead and try this out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer them for you guys. And also, if you like the video, please thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you're not already, guys, and also share with your friend, a family member, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.